Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. Okay, so what I'm working on next, now that I've got my covers pretty much nutted out in the way that they're going to operate, they can definitely have more embellishing yet, but they're to a point where I probably need to work out how the inside of the journal is going to operate, especially the ones made out of the bag, paper bags. So this is bringing me to getting in amongst my Edith Holden book and removing some pages, which, let me tell you, talk about shaky. It's not easy, but I have noticed as I've started pulling them out, I'm actually getting quite a lot of value out of each page. You'll see what I mean when I go through. The book I'm pulling apart was one I purchased secondhand, and it was already had a couple pages missing, not a lot, but they were definitely missing. I haven't seen January or February, anything like that. So most of my pages seem to be March, April, in that sort of zone. So I'll take you through what I've done so far and the clusters of papers that I'm going to be using in the journal. And I've built this one in the way of I've gathered the pieces that I know I'm going to use. So it's probably more advanced than this one here. So once I do a quick little walk through this, I'll actually do this one with you, so you can sort of see even more of my decision making. Okay, so I'm still undecided how this flap is going to be. At the moment, it seems to want to sit as if it's securing the journal, so it's like a little clasp, so to speak. There's a lot of tension there. It's quite strong, so I'm sort of liking how it just sort of keeps, you know, the journal seated. I've got some scrapbook paper left from the maps. Let me just move that. That bashing on my wall, if you can hear it, is those two dogs playing rough, so just ignore that. So one of the signatures has actually the inside cover of one of the journals. I used the map, and these were some scrap bits left for trimming it down. So these scraps have made their way to this journal because it sort of works with it as well. So those 4 pieces I've just slid in the pocket for now because they're going to be something, whether they're a tag or a booklet, you know, who knows. So that's why they're sitting in there. I call this stage clustering. I'm clustering like things together. Not sure where they're going to go yet, but at least it's sort of coming together. This is just a little piece left. I'm just going to stick it in there. Why does Bandit always woof when I turn on the camera? Does he know? Is he saying hello to you guys? Gee, they're playing rough. Must be. Holy smokes. Hang on a moment, everyone. Stop it, you two. Please be quiet. Goodness me. They're just looking at me going, "You coming out, Mum? Let's play." That rough play. Now I'm just going to move my cover out of the way because I don't like to sort of handle the covers too much if I can help it. I know my sizing. I've run the ruler over my cover, so I know that the maximum page can be 7.5 tall, and the width can be about 5. Anything more, I could probably squeeze it in, but it's probably best I don't. So I know I want an envelope for each journal, so I've decided to use this little one. It's sort of the right proportions for my cluster, so I'll just put that to one side. This little tab, you may have just spotted, I have these made in mass, and I just keep them in a little box on my table, and whenever I'm just sitting around not wanting to think too hard, I stitch them together. So it's a piece of calico that is folded in half, and of course that's stitched now, so its overall length would be 2 inches. So I ripped a strip 2 inches, folded it in half, then I got this lace, if you can see it, that there, it's just a cheapy shop lace. It's readily available everywhere, and you could use anything. it would be about 1 inch wide. So you can see when that's folded in half over that calico, and then just a couple little stitches, it makes a really great tab. So I'd like to include some tabs in the journal, and one thought was this flap, if it becomes just a way of securing the pages from flipping around, the tab, my thought was to just attach it here. Okay, so that would then allow you to grab it and open the journal. So that's one thought. Either way, there's going to be a tab somewhere, and it could even be on this envelope. So I'm just going to tuck it in my pocket because I know it's going to be part of this pack. Where, who knows yet. Then in amongst my scrapbook paper, this is Kaiser Craft, the ink and pen. Now their paper is not printed on the other side, so you get white. So I wanted to do one of these journals with white throughout it, just to show you some of the things I do to make this sort of disappear or at least tone. So that's why that's there. And instead of doing a full page size, I decided to cut that 12 by 12 piece in half, which gives me a second piece of butterfly, which will go into one of these other journals. And I'm just looking at the one I haven't constructed yet. No, it's not here. I popped it on a pile behind me for one of the others. So it's good value. I've got 2 signature wraps, and that's what I call a cardstock scrapbook page that's nice and solid. This is not as solid as some, but it sort of helps anchor your pages together. Then once you get in, you can start adding all of your softer pages. So my first Edith Holden came along. Now, there's a little bit of artwork here and a little bit there. Otherwise, it's pretty plain. So what that's going to do is give me the opportunity to do something here, whether it be a little pocket with a tag. And on the back here, I could attach another piece of paper or just add a floral element just to decorate it myself, and the same in there. So that's a good way of using a page that has very little of Edith's drawings, but a lot of her text. And it's narrow. So the bottom bit, I just trimmed it off because it was just text, so it didn't hurt. And that was half the battle here. Then I've got a digital page. Now this here, I have a old book of Shakespeare. She is old, 1888. The thing is like this thick, and it's all of the plays, and a lot of the pages are torn and damaged. It's a hang of a mess. I bought it at an antique market, and the cover was completely detached. Someone had tried to repair it with just some bright blue tape. Looked terrible. And I spotted it because I liked the size of the pages. And the gentleman, let me just grab this. The gentleman said, oh, if you're wanting to repair a book, this is a good project book because you sort of can't go too wrong, because it's been attempted to have a repair, but it really is in a very bad way. So he did it at a pretty reasonable price for me. And the thing that caught my eye, I'm just bringing it into shot, is the cover. It is spectacular. 1888. She is 12 inches by nearly 9, so massive. And that's all I really was caring about at that stage, is that I could get this old girl and use it in one of my Journal of Stitchery projects. And now this project was where I'm storing all of my tags from the Anne Brooks collaboration. It was the, follow it along, and all of my tags needed a home. So I've used Velcro and attached them in here to signatures made out of fabric. Behind the signature is lots of doilies and all sorts of textures. So I'm in the process of doing some additional stitching because my page numbers worked out that I had spare tickets or spare tags, like this little bird one. So I've done a piece of embroidery, and that's just a random page within the pages of the book. And I think I had 4 of these left. So they have got a home when I do those projects, and one of them appeared on the spine. You can see the tag there, and then I just, whatever the story was on the tag, I just expanded it out. So this book has given me the very, very old 1800s Shakespeare book. It's like it probably was in a theatre house, and it was like the reference book for a play that they could go back to. But I don't know. Maybe, I don't know what that was all about. Maybe Shakespeare had put out so many plays, and he a collection was put together back then of anyone who was a fan, and it was available for sale maybe after a show. I don't know. So I've been wanting to include some of that paper in some journals, and it's been sitting there a little while. So the Roxy Journal of Stitchery project took the cover away, so I found a good use for that. And now I've got all these really old pages, and being English was just perfect to add to any future journals. So a little bit special. I folded up the bottom of the page because I might make a little pocket out of that, and it's nice and thin that this is not going to bulk us up too much. Then I added another Edith page, and it was the one with the little bird nest on it, and once again a lot of text, so not real interesting, but the little bird image was. So my plan is I folded this over, so that's a tab for something to be attached to, decorating space for maybe a pocket. And then this side with those little tabs, you can pull it out and see the bird image. So that was my way of preserving that particular page. I then slid in some eco-dyed paper. I must check that this is up the right way while I'm here. Yep, I felt like that matched the blue tones of this particular journal. So that was the next one. Another little piece of Shakespeare. This is the bottom of the map page that was on the inside of one of the journals. So that's a little piece that's going to sit in there. And then I've just got to add some music paper. This is some old organ music that I found in my mum's cupboard, and it's probably her mother's because they were, you know, always playing the organ. So I've got a little pile of some nice vintage paper there. And then this is just a random little piece left. Once again, there's a lot of white here, but in the center of a signature, I like to put in a little bit more scrapbook paper. It just helps that fold sit tight in your journal, and because it's only a little guy, it'll be perfect to add, you know, something to it in the way of a flip or, you know, something to be decorated. So that's how that signature's coming together. That's about all I'm going to add to it. I don't want to go overboard, because what happens is you start embellishing and your journal gets, you know, really thick, and suddenly it just doesn't close real well. But there's still plenty of opportunities to add, you know, little bits and pieces, tucks, and, you know, do a little bit of decorating. So that is this little guy. Now this envelope, as I said, I think it's a perfect size, and it's going to be the start of disguising the fact that this is just white paper. So that is going to just go over there, and that will flip out and can be used to put something in, or I close it and it becomes a top loading pocket. Who knows what will happen with that little envelope. Okay, so that is the inside of this guy done. And as I said, I'm still not sure what's happening with this flap. Will it sit in there? Will it come across and a tie comes through? I don't know, but no need to make those decisions just yet. Now I have a pocket here, a slide in sideways pocket. So the next thing I had in my little Edith Holden was this page. Now it was a single page. The hinged page had nothing on it. it was just text, a few little sketches. But this was just gorgeous, and it was either going to be cut into a tag or I use it as a mini journal. Text inside can be decorated or left, and then I started clustering together some more little elements that sort of come from the inside as well, so sort of links it together. So I got a little bit of Shakespeare in there again. This is just plain copy paper for that I tea-dyed, an A4 page cut, torn in half, so if that was to join there. So folded vertically and then torn, so that gave me 2 pages out of 1 sheet of copy paper. And then inside, the next page I come across with Edith was this Viper page, which to me is not my thing. I don't really want to see him doing his thing and thinking about doing naughty things. So I thought I'll just tear the page down and add it to the center because it's nice and thick, and once again it'll help stabilize the center of my signature. And then on the back page with this lovely little commentary about a bird that she's just spotted as she's walking along. So I thought, well, that in itself is just gorgeous, and I probably wouldn't want to cover it. I might do some little flower treatments here just to decorate it a little bit, but I could certainly do something here, whether it be a little pocket or who knows. That's a crooked fold there, girl. So I'm just going to re-fold that. So the little snakes will disappear, and it would be quite easy to, you know, do something there to make that happen. Then I thought I might stitch them all in to make this little booklet, and then that little booklet can slide into that tuck spot, which will give me a little pop of floral on the front of the journal, which I'm really liking. So that's, I guess, clustered together with a bit of a plan. My next step for this is it'll go to the sewing machine, and using decorative stitches I'll start sort of running around all those pages and doing a little bit of sewing machine work. So stay tuned on that one. All right, so now this next one, I've just, as I did that one, I just started popping near this journal all of the elements which I thought might work with it. So this is the Lemon Tree House of Roses paper, which I think works beautifully with this particular journal. I picked out 2 pieces of paper. This one will be the front of the signature, and this one I'm thinking will attach to that flip. So that will be glued there. I'll do some decorative stitching first, and that will become part of that flip process. And it does give me the opportunity to either do some pockets in here, but I'm thinking it's going to have a signature stitched in. I think that'll be a really nice little spot for a cluster of papers, similar to what I've done here. So to be just a little extra journaling space, and it should flip, close and work quite well. Another tuck here so I can have something slide into there. So that's the plan for that piece of cardstock, because 2 pieces of cardstock were used in this project, and these are the bits that come off the bottom of those 2 pages. So we'll hang on to them. We'll see what comes of that. So I'm just, for now, so I don't forget, because I do have a lot going on here. Oh, look at the gingham check, and look at that. Like, you can't write this stuff. I tell you, this little journal, I find this amazing how journals come together. Journals find their owners, and journals just come together. There's something about it. I don't know what it is. I might be over-analysing things too, but I don't know. And when I get asked to make a journal for a family member or a friend of their, you know, family, I think about that person a lot. And sometimes I only have a photo, and I just think about them all the way through the process. And I always ask, what's their favourite topic? Is it nature flowers? And I might give 4 or 5 prompts. And what is their favourite colour? Are they girly or more tomboyish? And then I just go for it. And it sort of just comes together. And I guess if they're saying, oh, that's beautiful, that's exactly okay, and it's not, they don't like it, the journal will be gifted on to someone, and that's completely fine. If the receiver of the gift doesn't like it and they re-gift it, doesn't matter. The journal will find its home. That's my theory anyway. Anyway, so this is going to be the signature cover, my cardstock. Got an opportunity for a flap or a glue it down to make a slide in tuck. And then in the center, I'm just going to start popping in some papers that I've put aside. So I've picked a printed page. The second printed page is the dictionary, and then I picked another printed page. They're not the same image, no. I like the little birds on it. Okay, so they're my 3 digital prints. Having said that, I'm liking the idea of this becoming a journal. So I'm just going to pop that in there for now. And then I'm going to put this over here, and we'll see what comes of all this. Okay, so a couple pieces of Shakespeare. So let's slide him in like so. And let's put Shakespeare over here as well. I can see 2 signatures developing here. Didn't know what I was going to do with this little flip, but the signature idea is sort of coming together. Got some music, but I think only the one. So for now, I might put it on this one, and in here a little bit more Shakespeare. That's another folded up the bottom of the page of Shakespeare. Okay, so that's my old pages in. Now Edith. Now where did I put Edith? So now I've got to start thinking. I'm going to move my journal. I've got to start thinking about how I include Edith pages, preserving what I see, trying not to lose anything, and having a think about how I include it. So that's beautiful, beautiful, but text. So my height. Oh, okay. So if I was to trim, oh, I might lose birdies. So it won't matter that side. What will I lose this side? I'll get the swallow. How tall can I make my page? So I can actually go a little bit taller. So what I'm thinking is, with a little slithery cut here and there, I'm going to attempt to save as much of this, but not have it poke through. Now, width, how big can I go? I guess that's not too much of an issue because I just fold it in. Okay, let me get my cutter. Hope you don't mind me taking you on this journey. I'm in uncharted territory here because you just never know what the Edith book is going to give you next and how you can best preserve. So I've just taken a slither off there, and I'll take a slither off there. So we've preserved that. So I'll just put my cutter out of the way. Yep, so my height is good and it fits in my journal. Excellent. Did I lose anything on the other side? No, I got the swallows. Oh, awesome. So now I just want to have a look at maybe folding back so that you can get a look at the images inside. So let's do this one first. I might get my, so I want it to be accurate. So this is good. This means I have preserved pretty much the page without losing any of the artwork. And I don't mind that that's, you know, plain, because there's a story to be read there. Let's put in one of these tabs. So that just shows that that can be opened. Come on, open up. So that'll go there. And then when you open it, you can admire the scene. So I'm happy with that. Okay, so now this can also be scored as well. All right, so that can go there, that'll stay there. And which way will this guy go? Once again, it'll have to come in. And it can have something either attached. Being that that's at the front, I might move the tab to here. And that'll go on there. And I'm thinking I might actually make this the front of the signature, because you're opening up the journal and you're seeing straight away one of Edith's drawings. Yeah, I like that. So where's my journal? Yeah, I love it. Oh, look at the pink and the pink. And there's the tab to not only have a peek inside, but to open up your journal. So I'm happy with that. Okay, so we now need a little bit more Edith. So I need to grab the book, which, where is the book? How can the book go missing? It must be under something. Here it is. Let's have another little look, because we've only got one Edith page in there, and we've still got a second little signature building. So I think we need probably 2 more pages. So what's the story with this May one? It's a single page. We could turn it sideways. It could go in the center of a signature. What if it went in the center of this one as the feature page? Yeah, that'd be pretty. And let's just see what we've got here to pull out. So that's now loose. And what's happening with this one? They seem to glue every one page in every signature is actually glued in. So just take your time in getting your pages out. This one is one of those. It's like the signature page, the starter page of the signature is, I might just take another one out while we're here. Oh, look at that. Oh, goodness me. Are we in a signature now? I think so. I'll leave it in there. I don't know if I need it. Don't wreck it any further, Corrine. Just see what happens here. Okay. So this guy, if we go to the center, there's those puppy dogs. What have we got in the center here? Nothing really. And if that was in there, that'd be pretty. Nothing on the back. Okay, so I'm actually going to separate that. And if I trim just a smidge top and bottom like I did the other page, like take off the number and just pass the words at the bottom. Whether that's enough. I think I need to take a little bit more off. 1/8 of an inch top and bottom will make a difference. Yeah, that's lovely. Yep. I'm going to leave that edge. I like it. And I might just fold it a little bit off on itself. So not directly in half. Okay, so that is going to be the center of my signature. And what I might be able to do is either add something here to sort of make it a 3D looking page. But that I'm liking. Lots of words on that side, which is fine by me because once again, who knows what you can do there. Okay, so I'm liking that. To do with a little bit more. Edith, what have we got here? Really just an image. And lots of words. What's that all about? Okay, so that's someone else's poem, not hers. If that was cut there under the poem, I'd lose some green, which is not really interesting me. I wonder if I could. This just takes so long because you don't want to waste your Edith. Every bit is precious. So what I'm thinking is with this one, I'm going to try and trim the side a little. Let's get the plant in view. So I'm just going to take a fraction off. That'll shorten the page, but we've kept the integrity of the page. The poem is still there. How are we for sizing? It's still too big. Way too big. Do I continue or do I hand it over to another journal that's sitting behind me that has more page space, which is what I'm sort of thinking. I think I'm going to leave that. Yeah. I just don't want to bring that in anymore. Yeah, I'm going to pop that behind me for one of the bigger journals. Let's have a look at the next page. What have we got here? Okay, a single page. If this went sideways, would it matter? Not really, because those butterflies are very directional. Okay, I'm going to do this one. Get rid of my cover. This one is going to slide in here somewhere as a pop of sideways action. Yep, I like that. I am, like I said, I'm not a fan of sideways paper, but just sometimes you just have to. So if that went like that, that went like that, that would be upside down, so it has to go like that. Okay, you're in. So we've got a little bit of butterfly coming through there. Let's have a little look. So we really could do with a little bit of Edith in amongst that section. Okay, where's my book? Let's have another little pillage. Oh, goodness me. Is anyone else traumatized by this? Just watching it? Is it? That's sort of, don't really want to do another sideways. Let's keep looking. That could work as a sideways. Let's just, because the artwork is going in all directions, This is a real journey, isn't it? So I'm just removing the signature cottons that they've used to stitch in the book very carefully. I don't want to do any more damage than we do when we're removing these things. Cut my fingernails and I've just got nothing now to assist in the way of my tools. Okay, that should gently pull out. If not, oh, look at the back. This might just have to be a big page with a little trim. Come on, what's holding you? Must be a thread there I cannot see. Must mean a little bit of glue. There's a thread. Oh no. There's the thread. Okay, let's have a little look. Another thread. Goodness me. Gotcha. All right, let's pop Edith over there. Now, this I think needs to be a big page. Oops, sorry, just bumped the camera. How many big pages have I done? Just the one and a skinny one in the center. Okay. I don't know if it can be, you know. Oh, I don't know. Because if I cut the number off, I'll leave half of June. Therefore, I need to take June, which then takes the top of the daffodil off. Will that look weird? Is it just me overthinking? Let's just run that piece of paper through there. Yeah, it's not too bad. I can certainly take some off the bottom, but I will ruin the foxglove. I don't think I can use it. Put it on the pile for a bigger book. Let's have another little look. What have we got here? Nope. Maybe I do need to use that. Oh, okay, so it's not a joint page, it's two. Okay, all right. This one I think is a lot better because I'm comfortable I can cut through there and not ruin that. It won't look too bad there. And inside is just random. So I'm going to trim I'm going to trim right through and get rid of the word June, because that will give me quite a lot of size. And I've maintained the little poem. That's fine. I can live with that. And I've got a blank page here. And I think I can comfortably trim off the side if I use that as my guide. It might still be not big enough. Or do I turn it in? I don't want to turn it in because it's getting too chunky. I think I'm going to have to sacrifice that. Go back to my image. And if I was to come in there, now what did I say I could fit? Gee, I tell you, when you don't care so much about the book, this would be easy. This is a real, this never takes me this long to put a signature together. So I really need to pull down that page to maximum 4 1/4, but I could probably add another 1/8. I'll do 5 1/4 because that will allow for expansion. I don't want it bumping in. So if that's 5 1/4, how much do I lose? Fine. How much do I lose? 5 1/4. Oh no, I lose a dragonfly. Oh, for goodness sakes. Okay, so I'm going to trim the front page down to 5 1/4 because that is fine. So that looks good, and there's no way I can cut a dragonfly, so I'm going to fold that in at 5 1/4. I'll just get my okay, and my little dragonfly is preserved to some degree. Maybe I tuck in this way. Yeah, all right. At least I don't have the bulk on the other side of another folded page. If I lost that dragonfly, would it matter? Yeah, it does. Oh, I can't do it. Goodness me. This is crazy. Edith, what have you done to us? I wonder if she was sitting on the side of the River Thames sketching this bloomin' dragonfly going, one day in the future, that dragonfly will be an issue for Corrine, who just can't chop a piece of paper. Considering I have 2 of these books, crazy. So where did I want to put a splash of Edith? In here. Pop those roses in there. Yeah. Okay. The only other thing I would add to that signature now is just some plain paper, but I need to be very careful that it doesn't get too bulky, because by the time you start decorating, it can just get out of hand. So maybe I'm better off putting more plain paper. Even then, that to me is feeling bulky. What I'm going to do, no, am I going to do it? No, not yet. What I'm thinking is I trim this flap off. It just is less in there in the way of bulk. It's pretty, and I could use it maybe as a belly band somewhere. I'm going to trim it off. I just don't want that bulk already because it just will only get worse. And I'm going to do it both sides. And those little strips I can use because they're decorative. They look really cute, so that's not an issue. I've still got a hint of the artwork that was on that page, so that doesn't worry me. I'm going to now just slide that back in, and that's, yeah, a lot better. I don't mind the folding of the Edith, but maybe the folding of the scrapbook is just a little bit too luxurious. And then because we've then got this potential piece attaching like so. Yep, I like that. We still feel good. And what I might do is in this, have I got Edith yet? Not yet. So we need to do Edith in this, and I'm going to put some plain paper in it. So let's have a little look and see what we can find. Let's pull that page out. This is a page that's glued. It's not part of that signature, so I'm just going to gently tease out. aside and see what we've got. We want Edith inside. We don't have a lot inside. We have sorry, I've gone quiet. I think this page could be the center, and that's, yeah, I'm going to separate that, and then I'm going to add this to the center, and like I did before, I'm just going to offset it a little bit, like so. So that's the center of my signature. So that goes in there. I still get a little bit of text. I get that image there, which looks good. I can still do some trims or adding paper. Yeah, okay. Now my height is an issue. So let's have a little look at how I solve that. Once again, I can trim probably quite a bit off the front, off the bottom. What am I losing? Or do I do a little envelope tuck? Do I fold that up? What benefit is that to me? Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. So that little plant there looks good. That looks good. I've maintained the script, and I've got a little peeking bit of something there that can be hinged. I'm going to cut this off. I don't think we need it. And it's just bulk, so I'm going to come back from the fold just a little bit. We're going to nip that corner out. So we've now got a little pocket that can have something stand up in. We've got a little tab here that can have something attached, and that will make an interesting center to this little mini journal. Now, I haven't got any music paper, but does that matter? Probably not. I don't think I need that because I don't want to make this too bulky, and I do want to add some just paper that's been Parisian stained paper. And I haven't yet worked an envelope in. So maybe I have a look at an envelope, because there's no envelope in that. It was in the other journal. So let's work an envelope into this. Okay. First things first, let's prep this paper by tearing down its edges so that they are all roughed up. Like so. Then it's about looking at your piece of paper and working out what's the best way to fold this, or potentially tearing it down more to give you more pages for your journal. And these are pages that could be embellished or written on, or, you know, whatever. We may even slide a piece of this paper back through the main part of the journal. These journals are just going to be so different, each one of them. Okay, so let's just have a look at our paper. If we fold it in half, it fits nicely, which I'm thinking I'm going to do. I'm just going to fold it there and then fold it there so that it folds out for extra writing space, or, embellishing. And let's put that here. Okay, then we come into here and let's, oh, it's just too perfect not to do it that way. Let's just do the same. It's very boring, but when it works, it works. So that will go there. Now, let's have a look at this envelope. If this envelope went in next, yeah, I like that. It's not too thick at all, but let's test it in the journal because we are going to, now, what are we going to do with it? Oh, goodness me. We were adding it to the flap, weren't we? It was going to be glued onto that flap there and is like a little journal sitting on top of another journal. Yeah, I like that. That's super cool. Yeah, and thickness wise, it is certainly getting thick, but we have a soft cover, so that will certainly bulk out at least probably 1/2 inch and not interfere with anything. So I'm happy with that. Now, I guess the question is the closure. So before we commit to this little journal being attached, well, it's not little, it's still substantial, being attached to that flap, which I do like, before I go and think of something else, I do like that because it's going to give you this flip out business. Everything seems to be sitting okay. What do we do with this flap? Does it become part of the encasement to close the journal? I don't think it's deep enough. Like it might, but I just don't know at this stage. Maybe that comes around and secures it. Maybe not. I think that's a decision because we've still got to put things in here, which I'm thinking maybe we just make some nice big journal cards. So let's trim the scrap fabric. There's the brand name on that. So while I'm here with my cutter, I'm going to get rid of it because there's nothing worse than that popping up. And I might make a nice big journal card for there, which no, you can't see what I'm doing, but I've just marked where I need to cut it. That to me is a gorgeous journal card, and that slid into that tuck spot. Oops, need a little bit more off. Let's go to the bottom because I don't want to lose the bud. Let's see what that looks like. That, oh, a bit more. Oops, knocking things flying. Yeah. That in there is good. I like that. So this side, let's do another journal card to slide into there. So size wise, yeah, that's good. So let's do that. That's an easy decision. And of course, once I get to my sewing machine, I then can start fiddling around. I might pop that one there because it's more of a contrast with the background. And I'll pop this one over here because it sort of feels like it blends. And with some embellishment, that'll look really good. And these two will make great pockets, but they do need to be trim down a little bit. That one's good width-wise. So let's have a little look before I go and chop. Oh, it's not too bad, but I could probably cut it in half. So what width is that? 4. So I'm going to cut that into half, which is 2. And that can be a little pocket there. And then I might go into the back journal. So move that one out of the way and see if there's a spot where I could slide another pocket either onto there. It's very plain. I wonder if that could go. No, I cut it off to get rid of bulk and I've just added it in, but all I did was separate. Yeah, I like that. That can go there. And then with the, so it drags the scrapbook paper onto the Edith paper. So where else can I use another couple of little pockets? I wonder if I cut that diagonal and use it as a tuck spot. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get crazy and cut that on an angle. And that gives me a tuck there, or even I could slide something up into it. So that can go there, and maybe that can go on the back there. But nothing's set in stone, so we'll just put those in there for now. That can go, oops, into there, because that was going to go, where was I going to put that? Gosh, I can't remember already. You're probably going, it was going there. It was going on the Edith page, wasn't it? Was it? Oh, goodness me. I'll have to watch the video back to see where I was going to pop that. Okay, I'm going to have to watch the video back. Yeah, I don't know. It is definitely in there somewhere. Already forgotten. Oh well, move along. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. And I've got a couple little spare bits which can just sit in there for now. Yeah, okay. So we're making progress. We're starting to cluster the journal. It's, yeah, coming together nicely. Let me get rid of this big green thing, this cutting board. If you ever want a good cutting board, I can highly recommend the Caterpillar Pro. She's a ripper. She does not need blades because it's a spinning disc here. It sharpens itself on this edge. It has a light switch, so you can actually see through paper. Not that Edith's paper could be seen through, I don't think. Oh yeah, can see that line there. That'd be your cutting line. It also has a little tray. So let's say you're doing a bit of mass making and you're going somewhere. You've got a little tray here that you can pop some tools in and some sheets of 12 by 12 paper. So not a bad idea. Measurements are great, grid's great. The only thing I would say is the lines at the top are just indents in the plastic. Now, if they'd put a little bit of black ink on that, that would make that so much easier to actually see. So it is bulky, it is compassing, and maybe if you do travel a bit and want to work in a confined space, it probably isn't the cutter for you. But anyway, all right, that's good. I've got my journal upside down, already trouble. I will leave it at that and double check that everything's sort of sitting right. I will go to my sewing machine and just add some decorative stitching, but that'll be another day. Okay, everyone, look after yourselves. Bye for now.